We have a pretty full room today. Great. That it helps when I send out reminders and remember to do that. All right, my team, those who aren't smiling, I need you to smile. It's Tuesday, it's not Monday. We got this. All right, I got most of you. How was everyone today? Having a great day? Okay. Just going to give it another minute for people to come in. We had some people join an hour ago. I'm hoping they've come back, or maybe they waited. All right, so it's 10 o'clock. It's September 16th. We are having the office hours for school business officials who we know are doing all the real work at the schools. I know schools have started, so I hope you're all breathing and still doing okay. We are excited because October 1st is coming up, and I know you're excited about that too. Okay, Laura's shaking her head. She's the only one I can see except Chris. Chris is on camera too. Um, so maybe you're not all excited, but here's the thing that should excite you. The better data we get, the better funding you get. No? All right. Yay. Thank you, Charlotte. All right. Charlotte and Charlotte, I think we've introduced her already, but in case we haven't, Charlotte is the newest member of our team, and she has been with the Department of Ed and with the school finance through the data team for many years now. So you know her from that. A number of years ago, Charlotte and I went on a tour around the state, presenting something that we named "Why Data Matters," and we still believe fully that data matters. And the main reason, frankly, is for funding. And that's why we're here to make sure that you can get the funding. Best way to do that is with correct data. So
Paula, you keep sort of fading out.
this better.
Yes.
Okay, because this microphone, as all my microphones do, give me hassles. And maybe it's because it was down by my chin instead of by my mouth. Is it? So I'm going to continue talking. Yep, instead of out of my chin. All right, I got the thumbs up from Chris. Thank you. All right, so data matters, and we're here to help you make sure that you can get all the funding that you deserve. So I'll take a minute and introduce our team, and then I'm going to ask our team to just give reminders, and then we're going to open it up to you all. So I just introduced Charlotte Ellis, who's the newest member of our team. And so now I will just say, so we have Denise Towers here. We have Michelle Alexander. We have Ida Batista and Donna Tyner and Terry Beal. This is our full team. We are fully staffed. And again, something we're celebrating. To have a full staff as we enter into what we call EPS season is a huge blessing for all of us. So I'm hopeful that this will make things easier, not only for us, but also for you in the field as well. So I'm gonna go ahead, and I sent out a quick message yesterday, um, letting you all know that we're gonna talk about a few things this morning. And I've already lost that note. Oh, here it is. So I'm going to go ahead and ask Denise if she wants to start with any reminders on the audit, finance, collections side of things.
Um, well, I would just remind folks that if you have not completed your FY25 budget, that I'm feverishly working to get those completed and migrated so that we can use that data, which is important for a number of reasons. But I'm also working on the FY26 budget. So um, if you have not submitted that stuff, it was due August 30th or 15th, excuse me. Um, so just get those files uploaded in MUFs and get me the backup and so we can start getting some of those finalized.
And going on my theme of why data matters, why does the FY26 budget matter for the data that we're about to use? it matters specifically for the FY27 funding allocation that we're doing related to gifted and talented. And so there's that linkage right there. So that one truly does matter regarding funding. If we do not have your FY26 budget, and if I'm saying something wrong, Denise, tell me.
I thought
No,
we
we
needed
do.
the 25 budget in order to, maybe that's just a, maybe I was just wrong on that.
Ida, remind me, am I doing this wrong?
What it is 25 budget that we need
Thank you.
for the GT.
Sorry. So for FY27, we need, so why, okay, that's what I was trying to say. Why do we care? We're in FY26. We need your budget, but why do we care if we never got your FY25? And that's why. Because of the funding related to GT specifically, we have to compare your expenditure data that we're collecting to your budgeted data. That's how it works right now. So that's why data matters. Um, and but we still need your F26 budget data now. And if you didn't do your 25, that's why we still need it as soon as possible. Thank you. Love my brain, how it works, but I've got a team to help me keep things straight. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to move over to Michelle Alexander now.
I want to remind people about the extensions for audits. If you don't have the 2023s or 2024s in, please get those in so that we don't have to hold anybody subsidy. We want to get the audits in. If you need more time, submit those extensions, or at least make sure that we're up to date and current with those. If you're not sure what your last one was or if it has expired, just reach out to me and I'll let you know. Also, the Maine Care Q4 25 report is out there. Those are ready to be viewed and reviewed. The P100 is on our website now. It's no longer in Neo. There's a new location on our website, and I just recently set out a notification explaining how to get to it. If you didn't get that, let me know. Either give me a call or give me an email and I'll send that to you. And if anybody needs any help finding it, you can give me a call and I'll walk you through getting to it. Yeah, so those three things are the reminders that I have. If anybody has any questions, just reach out to me.
Okay, we have a question in the chat, but before I get to that, I'm sharing my screen to show you all where you can now find the P100. So if you go to our funding page and click on, yes, fiscal review, compliance and audit section. Right there on the left sidebar is a P100 link. Takes you to our new format that we have available outside of Neo on the web. It does go back for 5 years, so or back to FY20. So in this module, if you need to go back further, you can go back into Neo for those. This is where they will be from now on. And you can do all the searches that you need. So I just wanted to show that here so that you have that information in front of you. And then Wendy had put a question in the chat. Our auditor is saying they're having issues with the single audit guidelines coming from the federal side that may cause delays in audits. Have we heard anything on that end? Denise?
I have not heard anything on that end, but fortunately, I think we have the ability to extend single audits now. So if there is a delay, we are able to provide an extension, like Michelle was just mentioning, for the single audit as well.
Right, that's new this year. We were never able to offer extensions for federal side, but now we are able to, both federal and state. And so hopefully that will help. One thing I do want to remind you all, we have offered extended extensions since the COVID era. However, we do have to kind of put a stop to that. 22s, I think we're all set on 22s now. However, for FY23 audits, if we are still lax on those, we really need to get them all in by December 31st of this year. However, if you are truly having issues and your auditor can provide information to us as to expectation or maybe even a draft audit, we can certainly work with you. So please reach out to Michelle. Um, if you still need help, need even longer for your 23s, 24s, and 25s, normal extension process, but we need to make sure that your extensions are up to date. Uh, Again, the reason for this is we are also held to the fire on collecting your audits because of the tax funding that we're providing. And so we need to ensure that we're following a process to ensure that we are keeping up with what's allowable in law, so that we can show due diligence on our part in collecting the audits that are required. And if not, we're collecting an extension request, and they're not forever. They do have a deadline. However, we allow for extensions as long as it's feasible. But we also still work with you. If there's a specific reason your auditor passed away, that has happened recently, you had trouble finding an auditor, there are issues with the single audit, things like that. All of those pieces we can add to reasons that they are continuing to be late. And so we work with you. We're partners with you in ensuring that the things that are supposed to be done are getting done. And so please know that when Michelle sends you an email, it's not that we're like, get us this right away. We're not trying to be pushy. We're trying to be helpful for both you and for us to ensure that the partnership continues without issue on both sides. Any other questions about audits or the P100 or anything that Michelle brought up?
I have a
Okay.
question.
Okay, Sherry.
I did get my P100 and reviewed it, and they don't match my grant awards. So what's the process if that happens?
Denise, are you able to speak to that? Or Michelle, are you able?
I was waiting because I thought maybe Michelle might like to answer that.
Okay.
Well, if that happens, I will get with Denise. We'll look into that. We'll see what the difference is and why that occurred. And then we'll get right back with you so that we can find a solution and clear that up.
Yeah, and I think what I saw, Michelle, just for the record, I think the numbers were good. I think the description of the grant was wrong. So it said Title One for you, but in the system, it's not Title One. It's something else. So your
Yeah,
numbers,
I've
yeah,
been playing with the numbers, trying to figure out. I realize the Title One is technically the Perkins grant for me, but I still can't make the numbers add up, I guess is the best way of putting it. So, but yeah, if you're going to look at that, that's fine. Thank you so much.
Michelle and I are going to do that today together.
Yes.
Okay, so in the chat, there was this Brewer. I'm sorry, I don't know who that is. Thank you, Sherry. Found the same thing. So Sybil, hi Sybil. So yeah, standard operating procedure then, Michelle and Denise, is for them to contact you with what they're seeing, and you will help look into that and get back to them.
Absolutely.
Awesome. And then Lisa said, I believe we did not receive one of our high cost out of district adjustment payments. Could that be possible? So that would be an email to Ida, and she can look into what you're asking about.
She sent me an email yesterday. I
Oh,
just haven't
okay.
had it.
Okay, great. She'll get back to you as soon as she can. Awesome. All right. Anything else about those? Okay. By the way, regarding the P100, we're hoping that after this year, there's a new format, and the purpose behind that is that it will be able to hopefully be posted quicker in future years. That's the hope, because we know that your auditors and yourself are normally looking for these middle of the summer. And so we're hoping to be able to get these posted quicker in future years, just for your information regarding why we changed the format. Working on the back end to try to make things easier for everybody. Okay, Donna, do you have anything you'd like to share?
I think Ida's going to go in more depth of the data collection, but For me, it's mainly October 1, right around the corner. The sooner we get your data, we can review it and hopefully have everything ready to go.
Please look at the opening date, not the ending date, because then we can review for anomalies and get back to you before it's too late. Ida, did you want to?
1 minute.
One
Sorry.
moment, please.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I think it's we are just to reiterate, it's sort of, so as everyone knows, the October 1 is pretty much the foundation that the ED 279s are built upon. So it's your enrollment data, it's your concurrent enrollment. So anybody who has a CTE, please make sure that your initial enrollments and concurrent enrollments are all in. I always try to make a plug for the CTEs because there are some cases where they can't do their enrollment until the primary enrollments are done. So there's that. The other is the economic disadvantage. And I think I will let Paula talk a little bit more about that since she's created the alternative form, which is the only um, it's it's the only form that cannot be used for nutrition, but can be used for EPS purposes, even though we also use the federal lunch program application and community eligibility schools. Is that correct?
What was the last one you said?
The community eligible.
Oh, community eligible.
Is it
Okay.
not? Is it not? Is it
It's
CE?
the
CEP.
direct, but it's the direct certification.
Yes.
Direct
Right.
certification. Yes.
So there's those, and then staff, lots of
Right.
staff data. And
So
I guess the other thing on staff, let me just, before I forget, is we want to also make sure that your staff, there are certain positions that need to have assignment, and others that don't. And also, um, your special ed techs are not counted on page 1, so you want to make sure that those counts are not included on for the ed techs on page 1. So,
in other words, if it's an ed tech that is special ed, please make sure they're marked as special ed in NEO staff. Otherwise, they will count as an ed tech on page 1, and that can significantly reduce your EPS rate, and then that reduces your funding. So I put up here to share our list of important data and the due dates. But remember what I just said, please. You can do your staff now. Please don't wait until October 29th to check your staff, because the sooner you certify your data, the sooner we can go in and check it and verify it. And if we have questions, we can reach out and it can be corrected before it's too late. So I just want to remind you all about that. Another thing about staff before I get to the alternative form, which I am going to do, the economic disadvantage form. But before we switch gears, I want to continue talking about staff for a minute. And I'm going to ask Charlotte to speak to some of the things that she was noticing in the minimum hourly staff data collection reports. And so Charlotte, do you want to speak about that for a moment?
Sure. So some of this I'm noticing that, so in order for us to be able to pay you for these staff, they need to actually be in NEO staff unless they were students. And we're finding that a lot of, not a lot, but for some of you a lot, um, we're finding some of these people have never been in staff, and we need them, they need to have been in there last year, and they need to be in there this year because we need to be able to check that this was the same person that was there last year, not not being paid at the minimum for this year, and then that person is still working for your district in that same position this year. So you are able to, a lot of these that aren't being put in are substitutes. You can put substitutes into NEO staff, and they should be put in. So
Yeah, you should.
anyone that
It's not
is,
just can, you should. You need to.
yes, anyone that has any significant contact with children has to be in NEO staff. That's the way we can check their CHRC, make sure that they're properly certified if they're an ed tech. substitutes is not the same, but everybody has to have a CHRC. So the only people I shouldn't necessarily be able to find are those student staff that you have, and there's very few of those. But some of you have sent me a significant number of people that are not in NEO staff, and we're not going to be able to pay you for those. And you need to make sure that the ones that you did send me that are appropriate, that were appropriately in there last year, are also in there this year. I haven't checked that yet, so I haven't been able to figure out if people are in compliance with that or not. But some of you I'm going to have to be in touch with to let you know that we're not going to be able to pay you for some of these people because they were not properly identified in NEO staff for last year.
So the reason we know is because we asked you to send us a payroll dump or a payroll report. So, staff isn't payroll, but anybody that is in schools working with students needs to be in NEO staff. If they're not,
And one thing I want to note is that we're expecting, the department is expecting that NEO staff get updated throughout the school year. So it's not that just when you're done with doing the staffing for EPS purposes in December, October, November, December, that time frame, anybody that comes in or leaves after also needs to be updated in NEO staff. It's a full year data collection. And we
right.
do nightly share that data with the certification system so that the certification system is updated. So when the HR people can go into MEIS and look at it and see who is and isn't out of compliance with state that's certified properly, that's something that they have to do. And if NEO staff isn't updated, then MEIS doesn't know that those people are working in Maine schools. Also, that data comes back to NEO on a nightly basis so that we can know in NEO if people are properly certified or not.
So the staff data collection in NEO is for more than just that fall EPS collection. It's used year round. It's supposed to be updated yearly, all year for any staff that you have in your system. And the purpose is more than just EPS. It's also certification, et cetera. And so it's important that this gets updated constantly throughout the year. Now, I know in most cases you are not the ones doing the work, but the reason we're bringing this up to you is because it impacts you financially. And that's where your bailiwick is. That's where your responsibility is. And so we need you to know that some of these payroll that we've been getting because of the minimum hourly requirement now aren't matching up with what's in NEO. And that's going to cost some money. Also, it's important that going forward, the minimum hourly information for minimum hourly staff is updated in NEO. Last year was the first year. Many didn't do it, and they just put in the salary. We need the hourly information going forward for every hourly staff member. If your substitute teachers, for instance, are not paid hourly, then don't put them in as hourly staff. If you do consider them an hourly staff, then put in the hourly information. This is different at individual places. Some pay by the day, some pay by the hour. If you don't pay by the hour, then it's not an hourly staff member. So that's between you and how you do things locally. But if there are any staff that are hourly, we need to have their hourly pay. We need to have their hours. I forget the days per week, I think, things like that. I forget exactly what that's being asked. But if any issues with the module, of course, reach out to the NEO Medem support desk, and they can help you with that. So I'm going to move away from staff and away from this list of reports, unless anybody has questions, but I'm going to show you information about the economic disadvantaged report. And I'm actually going to go to the Medem support page. I highly recommend that this be bookmarked for you. The Medem support page and the school funding page. Those, in my opinion, are the two most important pages for data collection. And if you scroll down, they have information about student data entry and reporting. They also have staff data, schools and SAU, etc. I'm going to focus on the student one. I'm going to click on student data. I'm assuming you can still see my screen that I'm showing you. Okay, thank you. And then there's information here about economic status entry, how to do manual entries in Synergy, upload guides, data dictionaries, and then enrollment guides. I'm going to go down to economic status topic, and this is where you can find the alternate FY26 alternate economic status form. If you haven't already started collecting this, I recommend that you do. Even if you also are collecting free and reduced lunch forms and you have obviously direct cert students. This is important to do in addition because you're not going to always get the free and reduced lunch forms. You don't know how many are going to be on your direct cert list. There is a hierarchy, and I'm going to show you a document in a moment that explains the hierarchy. Ultimately, direct cert, any students that are considered economically disadvantaged due to direct cert, which includes those that are eligible for Maine Care now, on SNAP. That's a great question, Katie. I'll answer that in a second. And I forget the other criteria. Maybe, well, I can pull that up in a moment. Here's the form. It's a sample for you to update with your school's information. You can collect this online if you like. You can create a web page. You can create an email. You can do phone calls. The key is the family that you're speaking to, household size, annual earnings, as long as they meet the criteria listed here from the USDA, then we just need to know what is the student's name, what is their grade, where do they attend, and that they, yes, meet the criteria for economically disadvantaged or don't. We ask that the parents sign it. You are in control at the SAU level of managing how you store this data. You do need to store the data. You need to track it. You do not need to send it to us. We're not collecting it. We're collecting the information that you're collecting in Synergy. And Synergy is asking now, did you determine that this student was economic disadvantaged from the alternate form? Yes or no? We have learned that we need to determine how many we are getting this way, how many we're getting from free and reduced lunch, and we already know how many we're getting from direct cert. Okay. I'm gonna also show this little hierarchy economic status document. This is helpful, hopefully. There are 3 ways that a child is considered economically disadvantaged for EPS purposes. Again, the alternate form can only be used for EPS. It cannot be used for anything else. It's not for lunches. It's not for federal grants. It's not for Title I. It's only for EPS. That's it. But it's another way of collecting information that you may not be getting from the other 2 options. Again, the first option, direct cert from DHHS, you don't have to do anything. We get that. It updates in the system automatically. You do not have to put that information into Synergy or into your student information system. Free and reduced lunch forms, if you're still collecting those, which you're not if you're a CEP. You're not collecting free and reduced lunch. However, Katie Gorley, you do have, because you're not collecting free and reduced lunch forms, because you're a CEP, except every 4 years, that's actually the main reason we created the alternate economic disadvantage form, because you still need to collect it every year. We are not able to say because you're CEP, you get the same percentage disadvantaged every year, like they do for nutrition. We still need you to collect it every year for EPS. So that's the second way that you could determine. Now, third way, obviously, is the alternate economic. If you get a free and reduced lunch form from the same student and an alternate economic form from the same student, and free and reduced lunch says that they're not qualified, but alternate economic says they are, free and reduced lunch trumps the alternate economic. However, if you don't get a free and reduced lunch and you do get the alternate is what it is. It's the only one you got, so that's what you go by. So I'm going to read out loud what Andrea has written. I'm struggling to understand the reasoning here. If we are not able to get parents to complete the free and reduced lunch application, why would we expect that they would be more willing to provide the same information on an alternate form? It seems unlikely that changing the format alone would improve participation, since the barrier isn't the form itself, but the willingness to share that information. Understood. Which is why we made the alternate economic form easier and less hopefully intimidating. It literally is just saying, where do you fall in this category? And we are not asking for them to prove anything or to provide financials. I don't actually know how the free and reduced lunch form works. I never filled one out myself. And I don't remember when my parents did when I was a kid. But the hope was that we made this less intimidating and easier to do by just saying, by basically checking yes or no. Yes, I qualify, or no, I don't. Um, I understand they do not want to share information regarding whether they qualify. And I am so sorry. We've been promising for years that we're looking for an alternate way, and we still are. I am working with, we are working with MEPRI, the Maine Education Policy Research Institute now, based on the report that they did for the legislature last year. They're doing another mini report and evaluation right now. Part of that is to determine maybe a better way of determining economic disadvantaged rather than trying to collect these. We haven't been able to do it yet. We are still working on that. We're still trying to figure out. I see your other question here. Has the department?
I'm not trying to beat you up, Paula.
Nope. I don't
just
feel
want
like
you
you
to
are.
know, it's really nobody wants to admit that they qualify, and they
I
don't
get
want to
it.
put it on a form, and they
Nope.
don't want anyone here to see that form.
Understood.
So,
I get it. I
yep.
really do. And I am so sorry that we haven't been able to find it yet or get it into statute to change it yet. We have not worked away from trying to get data directly from Maine Revenue, but there is a huge block there. They just don't want to share certain information that we would need. It's really difficult and it's frustrating when we meet with them and we're like, we're just looking for town level data, or we're looking for even district level data only. They seem very hesitant to share that from what they're collecting already in the tax forms, and it's unfortunate. We are still trying, though. I will promise you that. But boy, I never realized how slow things can move in government. Unless, of course, you got somebody who can really push things through. I have not been able to push things through as quickly as I would like. I still have 10 years before I retire, and I promise you, I'm going to get this changed before that. I pray that it's way before 10 years, though. I'm working hard to make this better for you all, I promise. In the meantime,
But
because
there have been some changes, right? Because we now get
true,
those that students that are eligible for
main care.
main care are
Hmm.
now can now qualify.
Sure,
So
that's right. So we did see a significant jump last year as a result of the direct cert list improved based on the fact that main care eligibility is now part of that list. So we did see a significant jump in many of your economic disadvantage just from that alone. So hopefully that will help in the areas where we're not able to collect a form until we can figure out something else.
Paula, will the
Yep.
federal changes to main care affect students' ability to qualify? I know that there are reductions on the federal level.
it may.
It
We don't
it
know how
may.
it's going to be implemented. So until we know more, we can't address that.
So we might lose that direct cert data based on funding.
Until things, yeah, but it shouldn't happen right now because for the October 1 collection, for this year at least, you should be okay because
And SNAP is also going away. Is that correct?
I don't know that. Anybody
I
here?
thought
Yeah,
I heard
there's
that
some
SNAP
federal
is
changes to that too, and we just don't know how those are going to be implemented yet. They keep saying no, 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 they're not going to hurt, the poor and the children and the elderly, but as we all know, they've written something and it has to be implemented. Until we know more about how they're implementing it, we can't answer that.
Paula, can I just make a comment about this document that you're referencing here?
Yes, please.
This document, can you go back to the page before? This document was actually written prior to the change and they haven't updated it for this year's data collection. So under the alternate economic status form use, bullet number 3 is not correct. We don't want you to put these kids in as reduced or free. You have to put them in as economic status. It has its own code, and that's new this year. So please don't put them in as reduced or free. Put them in as the alternate economic status form.
Thank you, Charlotte. I did not realize that that was the case, so we'll have to get this updated. Thank you. And what we'll do is
Yes.
we'll update it and we'll send out the updated form to each of you, to the listserv for you guys to have. Thank you, Charlotte.
There's also the data team did oh, I hate this. Everything I copied today has this humongous
webinar?
link in it. Yes, there's a link to the webinar that I will put in here as soon as I can figure out how to do it so it's not 10,000 miles long, like the one I sent you this morning with our recordings in them. So I will
Yeah,
get that to
so
you soon.
this is their webinar page, the data team, all the webinars that they have available. And so if nothing else, I can put this link
Okay,
in our
but
chat.
I'm not seeing I thought she said the economic status one was out there. I don't see that there.
Well, we will double check. Yeah, I don't see it there either. So we will find that one. Okay. I think that was it for the data collections that are upcoming. And Andrea, I never feel like you're beating me up. I feel like you're continuing to ask important questions, and I appreciate that. So please never think that you shouldn't ask because it's important. And we are, hold us to the fire because I don't want to ever forget the whole reason that we're trying to find a better way to do things.
But
So,
it's not you that I'm trying to
yep,
hold
agreed.
to the fire.
Agreed.
So as long as you understand,
I do completely.
thank
I
you.
won't ever take it personally.
Thank you.
And
It's never meant that way.
agreed. Nope, I don't take it that way. And I appreciate your question. Can the governor require them to share? And we have brought in the governor's um, analyst. His name is something really good. He has a great name. And he has been working directly with us and with the governor. And so far that has not happened. So whether she can or can't, I don't know, but she hasn't.
It may need legislative change.
Right. And so, but we're still working on things, I promise you.
Is this something that Maine School Board Association and the superintendents need to get behind? Would that help move it along?
It absolutely would.
Okay, great.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely. Yes. Anytime we can get support from the field on attempts to make things better that we're hitting roadblocks on in government, that's always a help.
Thank you.
It's Joe. His name is Joe.
Thank you. It's Joe Morrow is the education. What do they call? Governor's education person.
Representative analyst. I don't know. But we also we want Terry to talk about some of the data she's collecting as well.
Right. Yeah. No, I was just saying we're done with the October 1 enrollment counts.
Okay.
And whatnot. So now we're moving on to Terry Beal regarding the data that she's working on collecting. Hello, Terry.
Hi. I am actually reviewing the Q4 FY25 actual expenditures and revenue. And just a reminder, those were all due on August 30th. So as I'm working through them, as I get close to having the ones reviewed that have been submitted, I will start sending out emails reminding people that I still need the data. So if you can get that in, that would be wonderful. And then I'm also working on the EFS07s, and those are all due by October 15th. And just a reminder, they are for tuition only and should not include any additional services, one-to-ones, special services, that sort of thing.
So again, why data matters. Why do we need this? Why are we pushing you to get this done? Because the FY27 funding, we are calculating in 2 months. And without that data, we cannot properly calculate your funding. I understand you haven't had your audit yet. We need your financials updated to the best of your ability pre-audit, so that we can use what we need for the calculations. If the audit then requires a change, we would ask that you upload those changes and let us know so that we can fix things on our end if needed, regarding the funding. But we need the financials. Um, the EFSO 7, it's tuition and board only. It's not the related services. However, related services are part of the funding in the special ed, not the high cost out of district, but just the special ed portion, and should be reflected in your expenditures, which if you've uploaded your FY25 quarter four final expenditure files, we will collect those and they will be part of your funding allocation. Any questions about all those? Okay. Again, it's all about us giving you the funding you deserve based on the requirements we need in order to calculate. So that's why we're asking all these things. All right. Anybody else that hasn't spoken that had something they wanted to talk about? Yes, absolutely. Charlotte has something else she wants to remind, and I will pull up the website.
So this is the time of year where we approve schools, private schools for public tuition. So if you have students that you're sending to private schools that you're paying for, we are updating our website every few days, as soon as we get the information that we need and the school approval team gets the information that they need. We will be continuing to update this page.
So for those of you that send students to a private school, our tuition rates page on our website has been updated. We do not have the public school tuition amounts yet. We do not have the private school tuition amounts yet. The reason is we can't calculate them until December because, again, they are dependent upon your quarter four FY25 expenditure detail files that we need everybody to upload. We can't calculate tuition rates until we have that data. So that's another reason why the data matters and why we need it as soon as possible from every SAU. But in the meantime, we have Charlotte has updated the website with those elementary private schools that are approved. We just don't know the amounts for the tuition yet. The secondary private schools, both in-state and there's one out of state that have been approved. So you will know, and we will update those as soon as we have information regarding additional ones that are on the approved list for this current school year.
You'll see that there are some that normally are approved that aren't on this list yet. It's just that they haven't gotten all their information in. So if you have communications with those schools, then we suggest that you can maybe prod them along to get their information in if they want their money from you.
Ultimately, in these situations, if they do not get on, I mean, Thornton Academy here, that's an example of one that is approved every year. However, they're not there yet. They're missing something. We would ask that if you send your students to a school not on the approved list, that you tell them you cannot pay them until they're on the approved list. Maybe then they'll get their stuff done. Any questions about that? Okay. Let's see. What else did we want to talk about? Team? Anything that I'm forgetting? Okay. If we've covered everything we were intending to cover, we would give it out to the field. Was there anything else that the field would like to ask us that we did not cover today? Or, any kudos you want to give us? No, I'm just kidding. We'll take, compliments. A little bit of jabbing is fine too. I'm okay with that. Maine ASBO, the first meeting for that is coming up next Friday. I won't be there, but hopefully you all will get lots of wonderful information on that for those of you that are going.
This Friday.
Excuse me. It was next Friday last week. Sherry, you're the new president, correct? Would you like to take a moment to say something?
I'm still vice president,
Oh,
but I will be president next year. I'm like in waiting.
gotcha. She's vice president, president in waiting. Gotcha. Okay.
But I always encourage anyone, if you can attend, it's in Augusta, this next meeting. And um, we're excited to have our first meeting with our new executive director, Mike Auerbach, and he'll be there. And it should be a fun meeting.
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna be away the last couple days of this week. So, but yeah, looking forward to the meetings this year for Maine ASBO.
Sherry, speaking of Maine ASBO, is the meeting with Drummond Woodsum in Brewer this year?
Yes, it's coming up. I think it's October 10th. It's in Brewer. And we are currently working with Greg M. at Drummond Woodsum on that agenda. And it should be a good meeting with a lot of legislative information and other legal updates.
Thank you.
I'm gonna have to try to go to that one. That sounds great. All right. Anybody else have anything they would like to discuss or ask? All right. Well, I don't want to take, oh, Denise has her hand up.
Sorry, I've gotten a couple of emails, just so everybody knows. I got another email about the P100. So rest assured that Michelle and I will get on this and see what we can do to get this corrected. This is, like Paula said, this was our first year trying to create a new process so that a system could generate all of the data accordingly instead of manually. So just know that if you are finding discrepancies, know that we're working on it.
And we're also trying to get the ALN added. Is that correct? We're working on that as well.
Correct.
Yeah. So sorry about there's bugs every time you change the system, right? But we're working on it. So, but please let us know if you're having issues, and we'll work on getting those corrected as quickly as we can. Virtual option. Oh, virtual option for. I'm assuming you're talking about the Maine ASBO meeting. Gotcha. Yeah, this meeting is being recorded as well, just to remind you all. And Charlotte, now that she's on board, will get me hopefully up to date. Recordings are past due, put on our website, but she's going to try to get those all put up there for past ones and current ones to our YouTube site as well. All right. Anything else? Anybody wants to? Okay. Well, I'm going to call it then. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for the great work you do. Mark Bouchard is retiring soon, by the way. We should probably give him a round of applause for all the work he's done. I think he's retiring at the end of this month. Thank you, Mark, for everything you have done. And I hope you have a great retirement. And everybody, thank you. Hope everything is going well. Mark, go ahead, say a few words.
No, I couldn't get unmuted. It's probably a blessing for you guys. Yeah, my official date is the 3rd of October, but we just hired a replacement last week. So I think who cannot start till the end of November.
Oh.
So I've got to work some details out, but I'm probably going to hang out maybe 2 days a week to get the new person up and running.
All right. Well,
And then
we
I'll
all
enjoy
appreciate
retirement.
that. There you go. All right. Well, hopefully by the end of the year, you can fully enjoy it. But thank you for all you do and have done.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thank you. Reach out if you have questions about any of your reports, please. We are here to help. Also, utilize the Medem support team as well, please. Thank you. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye.